let's just say what I'm saying isn't that all African people are dumb. That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying on average their IQ is lower. Just like on average the Asian IQ is above the European IQ, right? It's an average. I'm not saying all people of that group. You obviously get outliers in each group. You're going to get European people that have sub 75 IQ. You're going to get African people that have 130 and plus IQ. But if we correlate the average to the society, it makes a lot more sense. So if you take the average African IQ, which in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, ranges between 68 to low 80s in some countries, that's the average, and you correlate it to the reality of what Africa looks like, its level of development, amount of inventions, etc. credited to it, it makes sense, right? If you do the same with Asia, it also makes sense. Look how they're developing technologically. Their IQ on average in the eastern parts of Asia, like China, Japan, Singapore, their average is all above the European average, at between 104 up to 107, 108 in some countries. Now look at the level of technological development and civilization there. It once again, it correlates to the IQ of the average person.
No, I think it correlates to the culture. If you're not going to create a culture of builders and innovators, then it doesn't matter what skin color you're in. Like I said, there were European nations that weren't that developed, and there were Asian nations that weren't that developed. It depends on what culture you adopt. The Greeks and Romans adopted a culture of development, of building, of creating. And, you had the Vandals who had a culture of destroying, and they were white. So it depends on the culture that you create. So I've always said, people like to say, look at black people today. Sorry, Black Wall Street. So people like to say, look at black people. I'm like, you don't measure someone's intelligence by saying, look, they're not creating, therefore they must be dumber. You say, look, I'm going to create a culture of builders here. I'm not saying you guys should do that in the ghetto. I'm saying if I were to go into the ghetto and I'm respected, I'm a respected elder or something like that, and I create a culture of builders and creators and developers, if even at that point they fail to reach the IQ of Europeans or to surpass it, if they reach it but they can't surpass it, then you can make your point. You can't go to people who I can't go to the Vandals and then compare them to, let's say, ancient Nubia, or compare them to Ghana and say, obviously, you see the IQ tells you, look, they're black, they build, they're white, they don't build, they destroy. No, the Vandals did not have a culture of build, as far as I know. I stand to be corrected. They did not have a culture of building, but a culture of destroying. They destroyed everywhere they went. So you cannot compare the Vandals, take the Vandals, and then compare them to let's say, to ancient Ghana. For instance, Ghana was not an Arab civilization, by the way. That is the architecture of Ghana that you see up there. Kumba Saleh, the capital of ancient Ghana Empire, flourished from 300 to 1240 AD, located in modern-day Mauritania, the one I told you about. Archaeological excavations have revealed houses almost hospitable today and several stories high. They had underground rooms, staircases, and connecting walls. Some had nice rooms. One part of the city alone is estimated to have housed 30,000 people. Now, if you're going to tell me, oh no, it was the Arabs. No, the Arabs came later. Just like the Arabs, Polynesian people travel. Yes, there were Arabs, but they came later, and the Arabs wrote about the architecture they saw. A lot of what we know about these African civilizations during the time of the height of during the height of Arab civilizations, right? When they were, Muslim civilizations were flourishing everywhere. During that height, the Arabs would go into Africa. Some of them would start, like, what's this guy's name? Ibn Battuta and Ibn Khaldun. They would go into Africa and write about the architecture of the people. They described the people as dark skin, thick lips, and woolly hair. In other words, those people did not look like them, and then they were fascinated to what extent these people were able to build in honor of Islam while mixing that architecture with the architecture of Africa. How we know Swahili was a black African civilization is because of the architecture, not because of just the people there, because we could argue that those people came later, but we don't know because of the architecture, and we know because of the documented evidence of Arabs going into the Swahili Empire and writing about the architecture there and the people there.